Hi, my name is Fiona Dunnan. I'm from FMD Architects. Today I'm showing you the CLT House, which is shortlisted in the Residential Alterations and Additions category of the Institute of Architects Awards. So let's get started. Okay, so the house is down in Mornington Peninsula. It's a working farm and it's a multi-generational house really. It's for my clients and their adult children and their grandchildren as well. It's a house that we've spent over 10 years working on, to be honest. But various reasons it started and stopped along the way, but it allowed us to really develop and hone the design and explore and research CLT. CLT is cross-laminated timber, which is a mass timber construction, allowing us to do really interesting forms and very large spans without any steel. So it's a really sustainable, efficient system. So it's also very fast construction time, as you'll see in some of the images. So the design is a new extension on the first floor of an original 70s house, which spans over the original carport area and connects the southern landscape with the northern landscape, which was quite disconnected and unused. So the original house we've reconfigured and reworked, and this is really the adults kids zone now, as well as the central kitchen, dining and family room. But it's really now sort of in designated wings, allowing for 2 or 3 families to come and really have their own zones in the house. And then you can see at the northern end of the site, just up here, the new bunk room, which originally was Peter's garage for his sports car and his wine cellar. And then over the 10 years, grandchildren came along, so the brief changed. That was pretty much the only part of the brief that changed over the course of the design process. And the kids really love this sort of separate wing. And upstairs is Peter and Sue's retreat, so their bedroom, ensuite walk-in robe, this southern lounge, which has incredible views, long views down to the water. The central library / home office where Peter and his sons work. They all work together in the business, and this is really coming to its own over the lockdown period, which is really interesting. So Peter has an office in the city, but spending more and more time down here as time progresses. And then at the northern end is a steam room and spa area, an upper lounge and another guest bedroom, which then spills out onto this northern garden. And Sue's a great gardener and she's really reinvigorated this part of the garden, and it's a whole new area for their family to gather now. You can see here the sawtooth roof. So the sawtooth roof design, we went through various iterations exploring the sun and how it passes through the site, the influence of the trees, and then the importance of solar on the roof as well. So we've got a very large solar array on this roof. So the decision was made to pitch to the north and allow this to be the space for the new solar panels. And then we have high-level glazing within those triangular zones, which is what you can see here. So here we're getting quite a lot of east light through these windows, through the length of the span. And then you can see this long slot window as well. So that wall is like a giant timber beam. And so we've just cut a very thin slot, as much as the engineer would allow us to do, to get these cross ventilation through the space from east to west. The solar panels that you can see on the roof. And the elevations, the house is very different from every aspect. So as you enter the site, you're exposed to the long view of this long sawtooth elevation bridging the site. But the northern elevation is very, very small, and that is towards the main road that it's on, but quite invisible from the road. And then the southern elevation really exposes the base of the building, which was the original building. In the interior, as interiors, as an interior designer myself and an architect, I'm quite obsessed with the interiors, and from the outset, given we were using CLT, I really wanted to expose it in all its glory in the interior. And as a mass timber material, it's not often used in this sort of finely crafted way where we're sort of using it for all the joinery aspects as well. Here you can see how the light works in the space. This is facing west. We've got these lovely trees to the west, which are really helping create dappled light and from the west. So we've really thought about every aspect in the landscape in the design as well, and how the light moves around the site. And the ventilation, so it's naturally ventilated through the slot windows, also from the large southern sliding windows, and can escape through to the north. But we also have these motorised slots in the apex of the sawtooth roof, which allows us to open up in summer and release that hot air that gathers up the top there. We have industrial fans in the space as well, but these can be reversed and then motorised slots closed in winter, so we can retain that air and that hot air and push it back down again. This is the construction, so you can see that large timber beam. So this is one giant sort of 14-metre long timber beam being installed and the roof panels being installed. The whole construction took 4 days, so extremely quick, but the planning and the shop drawing review was over nearly a year of reviewing and checking and actually changing CLT companies for different aspects. So we've actually got 2 CLT companies that we've used. There it is, the roof going in place. So very, very quick build, which is fantastic. And here you can see the interior of the workspace, and this is used by all generations. So Peter and his sons can work up here, but also the kids come up here and play. They've got their own little work desks. One end has got all the kids' books, and there's teepees set up and all sorts of things goes on. So everyone's got enough room to spread out in this space, which is fantastic. This is a southern lounge area looking towards those beautiful long views. And the other thing we really wanted to celebrate is just the complete construction system. You can see here the connections between the posts and the beams, and how they're basically held together by these giant screws called spack screws. And so they're sort of screwed in on all different angles and sort of highly engineered to sort of put the whole thing together. So we've left everything exposed in that way. And the other thing you can see there is the lighting, which is rebaited into the beams and on the tops of the walls, so that there's no distraction in terms of decorative elements in the space. It's quite monastic in many ways. The stair as well, this is the stair leading up from the original part of the house into the new extension. So that's all CLT as well. And we sort of wanted to have sort of almost agricultural feel to the balustrade with this steel mesh element. So just keeping everything quite raw. The bedroom introduces another plywood called maxi ply. So on these sort of finer, smaller joinery elements, we've used maxi ply to coexist with the mass timber CLT. And the other beauty of this space is it's actually open. It can be opened up to the ensuite behind, so that again we can get that full cross ventilation through the space. Southern elevation, so you can see the original stair, and the rendered base is the original part of the house, which we re-insulated, double glazed, as well as obviously replanned and refinished. And the kitchen is the part really where all the different elements come together. So we've used a mix of CLT, the maxi ply, and then some of these sort of darker redder tones in keeping with the original parts of the house. And this sort of red granite, which has quite a 70s feel to it as well, which I really like. And then you can see how that connects to the original lounge areas. And Peter and Sue had a local artist come in and reclad the old fireplace as well, with a new sort of metal artwork installation. There's a little bar upstairs. And this is the northern elevation that spills out into this northern garden. So very small elevation, which I really love, that sort of change from quite large to the small, with the retractable awnings to the north. And at night, it really changes. It's as you approach the building, you can see these floating triangles just hovering in the trees, which is really interesting and something that we really love, because it completely transforms the building. So, you know, it's quite a strong gesture, I suppose, in the landscape, but it really does bury itself within the landscape quite subtly as well. So what we really love about it is CLT was something that we designed with from the outset, and that's very important to do. And the builder and the client, we're all on board right from the beginning and through the course of the process. So we could all work together and apply our different skills to make sure that we came up with a design that is using a mass timber, but in an extremely refined way. And then finally, my favourite project in the awards this year was Kirsten Thompson's Broadmeadows Council offices. This is a renovation as well. And what I love about it is how she had a good building to start off with the original building, but she's really elevated it and made it a great building. The way she's replanned it and refined the details and added new detail, and then the new extension that you can see here on the side. So she's very subtle and restrained in her approach, and so carefully considered that it merits great respect, I'd have to say. So thank you very much for watching my presentation today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.